You know, journalism has got the ability to create a story every single day, especially in a World Cup, where every game matters so much that creates a whole new narrative. It all starts before the World Cup with the predictions. The first thing you get, of course, is the impression that, say, Brazil come in a very strong way with a Neymar that has recovered, and then you see them play and you think, actually, still strong at the back, but. Or Germany, of course, losing the first game, and it's like, well, they may not be candidates now. Or England thinking low expectations, but now after 2 victories, it's like, ooh, will they be candidates? Spain as well. You have to count on them, and then you see them play and you think, but they're soft at the back and they concede a lot. And, in fact, 5 goals in 3 games, and they don't attack that well. And that comes in after every game. So what do we say about Argentina? Quite clearly, it is a team that has got players that are bigger in name than in quality. And you have to see, if you look at the little details, including the game last night, they make so many non-forced errors. So many passes, controls, just crosses the goal all over the park. Just unbelievable stuff that you don't relate to a nation like Argentina that has produced for so long players of quality, a nation that has produced the likes of Messi. And then, of course, Messi scores that wonderful goal that we'll get into in a minute. But yes, what do we say about Argentina? We have to start before the game with the impression that things were so bad in terms of decisions on the pitch, in terms of the players that had to start, that the players took over. Now, I know that Mascherano and others have said that that's not the case, that the manager's still the manager and still in charge. But isn't it funny that 8 of the players that started against Nigeria had started as well against Chile in the Copa America final in 2016? And some players that are in and out of the side for non-explained reasons, like Banega, like Rojo, like Di Maria, well, actually, they come back into the side for the important game. Already Sampaoli was suggesting in the press conference before the game that if the veterans are the ones in charge, or the ones put in, not so much in charge, the ones that get chosen for the game against Nigeria, is because of the circumstances and the tension of a game like this. Well, just there is a group of players in Argentina that are leaders, that do take decisions, and I think, let's call it, there was an agreement between the manager and the players that this is the team that had to go in. And to be honest, they played better than they had played previously. Nigeria defended really, really well the whole game, to be honest, and created some counters. I'm thinking of the Igalo chance, for instance, at the end. But Argentina attacked down the wings, so the theory was put in practice. The problem was the delivery at the point of taking decisions from those players. But the fullbacks were going forward, they appeared from deep. You had in Banega somebody that wanted the ball and linked well with Messi, who started on the right hand side with Higuain in the middle and Di Maria on the left. And you know that if he can influence, if the team plays to his strengths, he does influence. So from the beginning you saw a very active Messi, and as a consequence, a good Argentina. He assisted for an Higuain chance, but the moment of the goal is what tells you what this side is about. The 2 players with quality, big quality. Banega from his own half passes the ball to Messi, and Messi does 2 wonderful touches, one to control the ball and another one to place it in the right way for his right foot to shoot and to score 1-0. The tension was quite clear, something that was affecting the players. The fans were absolutely fantastic. There's a song, isn't it, that they sing, something like when you need it most, we will be here. It's easy to actually back you when we're winning, and that's exactly what they needed yesterday. So that was that was from the lineup. That was the game, how it was being developed. But of course, there was the penalty, the Mascherano penalty, that left the game 1-1. And Armani, by the way, who I think he had the goalkeeper, Franco Armani, the best goalkeeper in the Argentinian National League. Somebody had played regularly, and like Romero, who got injured, of course, but certainly Caballero too. So Armani was on goal for the penalty, had already made good saves and looked strong and looked confident. That will help them in the future, of course. But the Mascherano penalty, in the VAR era, certainly don't do that, especially the holding your rival in the marking, in the box, in a corner, in a set piece. You will be watched, and in fact the referees have been told to actually warn players at the beginning of the game from the first corner, don't hold, because if you do, you will be penalised. Argentina were told, but I guess it's in their instinct to actually do that, and certainly it's not just the only foul that gets committed in a corner. In every corner there are fouls, but that's one thing that VAR are gonna definitely help football, because now everybody will feel they're being watched. There will be less of those holding, the other football, we call it. Anyway, after that, it was a matter of seeing who can deal with pressure, the pressure of the minutes going, and you know, you could see Messi that seemed tired in the last half an hour or so, still involved, but giving absolutely everything. Higuain, as we said, had a chance that, well, over the bar. Yes, thank you. Stuff is being collected away. Apart from the water, I'll keep the water, thank you. And finally, a full back put the ball in for Rojo. What was Rojo doing in that position? Rojo, the centre back. Well, you saw some pictures of Messi at halftime talking to the teammates, and he was basically sending one message: let's play, let's keep the ball, let's play. And also during the game, he was actually, especially in the last half an hour or so, he was actually asking the players, well, from the penalty scored, from the 1-1, he was asking the players to go forward. It's life or death now, just go forward. That's what Marco Rojo was explaining after the game. Go forward. If you see the opportunity, if you feel that is a good moment to do so, just go forward. That's what Rojo did. He appeared, and great goal. The 2-1 that perhaps wasn't deserved by Nigeria, who, as I said, defended well. There was less danger from them than usual, but because it was a bit more organised, Argentina. Will they go far? Well, they got France next, so it won't be easy, but certainly puts them in a completely different mind frame now. There's been some comments about Messi saying that God helped them get there. And Johan Cruyff used to say, I see everybody just like praying and everything and just doing the gestures to connect with God. But if God really intervened in games, wouldn't it be 0-0 at the end of it? Anyway, it's a way of saying, it's a way of talking, and what we saw was an Argentina that I personally wanted to see in the next round, not just because of Messi, it's one of the big teams, but I also wanted Nigeria to go through. They deserve more, and it was, I heard Obi Mikel saying that the referee didn't know why. Was it Rojo that hit the ball with his hand, having first headed it, and it went to his hand, and Obi Mikel said the referee could not explain to him why he had not given a penalty. That's the inconsistency of VAR, of course, and that will continue, because at the end, even though the technology is there, it's the decision of one person, and that same person, referees, we've always complained about the lack of consistency in the decisions, and that will continue because the pressures are different, the personalities involved are different, and the referees think differently in circumstances that seem pretty close. That's football. Human being will still have a part in it, and I say if human beings have a part of it, why use technology at all? Apart from goal line, and perhaps you could even take it to offside decisions. Of course, it's so hard to score a goal that if he gets disallowed for an unfair offside decision, then it'd be good to be able to correct that. If you're going to have technology, add the ability to spot a mistake like the Henry goal against Ireland or the hand of God of Argentina. But clear and obvious, that's what, if technology is going to be used, is what we should focus on. I think VAR has been tried, tested, and then we should take a step back and think, okay, if it's staying, and it will stay, maybe we should just go for the big, huge decisions, the ones that have not been spotted by the referee. But we'll see. I'm sure there'll be more to talk about that. We saw Maradona, of course, celebrating in excess, having enjoyed the day in excess, and excess is part of his life. The rumor was that he had to be, his blood pressure went very high and had to be treated after the game. I'll leave it to your own guess what happened after the game, but in any case, it's kind of sad to see him like that. I do know that once you are on stage, for a person like that, he wants to constantly be on stage. I've seen him, I've been in private surroundings with him, and I see that he's surrounded by people that is an audience clapping him at every corner, laughing every joke. And I remember he told a friend of mine, he was in Zurich, this friend of mine walking with Maradona, and after a while, having come out of the hotel, he said to Maradona, look, you must be happy, nobody recognizes you here. And Maradona said, do you know what, if I cross another road, if I go to that corner and nobody recognizes me, I'm gonna die. He needs it. Fascinating personality, which I would love to explore in detail one day. Clue there. Anyway, that was Maradona. The other thing to talk about, perhaps, before we all go and watch the games today, it's a little bit more of Spain, if you allow me. I think that De Gea is a great goalkeeper. Great, not good, a great goalkeeper. There's no argument there. But great has got, every great player has got peak in forms, and he looked lacking in confidence. Not to blame for what's happening to Spain, even though he was to blame for one goal, but Sergio Ramos missed or disconnected for a combination with Iniesta for the goal against the goal that Morocco scored, or the first one. So he's not the only one making mistakes. I'm not blaming De Gea for what's happening with Spain, but I'm saying he seems lacking in confidence. He may explain one day what's happening to him, because right now it's difficult to see, it's hard to see. It hurts to see for somebody of so much talent. Hierro has got to take decisions, and if he does or not, he will define his tenure as a manager of Spain. I don't think he'll make many changes. It's been debated if De Gea should be replaced. I think he will continue with De Gea. If he wanted to do that, he would have put Kepa against Morocco. An important game, but one that it would have given us an idea of what Kepa is like. To put him now in the last 16, very hard. I don't think there'll be changes in there. The centre-backs don't seem as strong as ever. They miss. I think it's in aerial fights. 3 out of 8 have been missed by Piqué, and I think another 3 have been missed by Sergio Ramos. Not usual. But also they look shaky. Busquets has to decide if he goes pressure high or if he backs up to help them as well as a third centre back sometimes. But that, in definition, is part of what's happening with Spain. Two Spains, as I've been saying all along. The one that made us win is represented by Silva, Iniesta. I think both of them, even though Silva is not at his best, both of them should stay in the team. With Busquets and Piqué, of course, and I would say Iago Aspas instead of Costa. That would be the change I would make. Iago Aspas to come in straight away. You change the way you attack, and that is one of the things that will be sorted, because at the moment we're predictable and slow. The other team is represented by Isco, by Koke, by Saúl, by Carvajal, by another way of understanding the game. But because it's going to be mixed until the end, unless you take it towards Isco, in which case it could be more about combination and passing and a little bit what we saw against Portugal. That mixture means that we'll still be suffering at the back. Another reason that I don't think nobody's pointing out in Spain why we're suffering at the back. It's very difficult to pressure high, and that's the thing that Busquets is confusing Busquets. Very difficult to pressure high when actually the rival either plays it long as soon as he recovers it, or just makes 2 passes and then plays it forward. Very impossible to defend high up. How do you sort that out? I don't know, and I don't think it's easy to sort out. It requires much more physique from Spain to run forward constantly, be brave, and trying to stop that first pass or that long ball. Not easy at all. That means that that indefinition in which you don't know where to put the defensive line, and means that of course it confuses and exposes the centre backs and the goalkeeper. That's my take. Been thinking about it, so I wanted to share it with you. Anyway, today I'm going to see Serbia, Brazil. Not over in that group, of course, and we will see. Coutinho's becoming the man of the tournament for them. Neymar, a man that explodes emotionally during games, but has got 2 or 3 moments of quality, of course. Which, as the tournament progresses, you won't see 90 minutes of him, but you'll see those 2 or 3 moments become 5 or 6. If that's the case, then Brazil should be fine. Anyway, we will see. We'll talk about all that. Subscribe if you got this far and you want to follow my advice. But anyway, I'll keep talking to you, and I'll keep reading your comments. I'll speak to you later. Bye bye.